the topic of entity partnerships for iGT and iGE. Basically, I'll be telling you about what are the dynamics in terms of operations, what kind of the things that you need to be careful when you're trying to have entity partnerships. And yeah, to start with, we will cover four main topics. First one is understanding your opportunities. Second one is planning the communication for international relations. Third is being up to date. Fourth is balancing asking and offering. And please check the contact details here. So I will be your main contact, but we also have a nice IR team. Justine is the team leader. Harshavardhan is responsible for entity contact. Kevin is responsible for LC contacts here. So whenever you have an opportunity, you can approach both of them. Vaishak is responsible for BRICS projects. So he will be basically creating projects to make sure that we are increasing our exchanges between BRICS countries. So yeah, let's start. So first topic is understanding your opportunities. What does actually this mean? So before trying to have a partnership, the main thing that actually you need to understand is what we have in our portfolio. Because once you go and ask chips, you need to have a really wide analysis. So what are we going to do in iGT is that you can note down those questions. Is actually to start with one basic question. How many open opportunities do we right now have? How many of them are matchable? Second one, you need to divide them based on the products. How many of those opportunities are GE and how many of them are GT? And the third step is dividing them based on the sub-products. How many of them are management, sales, and marketing internships? How many of them are education and teaching internships? And how many of them are technical internships? Once you make this division, you're actually going to understand that what kind of things we have in our portfolio. Okay, how is my voice right now? Is everyone having the same issue or only a few people are not able to hear? Okay, guys, if you're not able to hear, then it's because of your internet speed probably. So I will just continue. So yeah, so far what I mentioned is that knowing what we have in terms of the opportunity titles and all. But most important thing is that knowing also durations and the start dates. And one filter is, are there any language requirements? So how is this going to help? Knowing all this data is actually make sure that when you're interacting with any entity, you will know what kind of information to proceed them. And this is also will show you what you have and what you don't have. This, for example, say you have 10 marketing global talent opportunities, but you don't have any IT or ET opportunities, which is directly going to show you that maybe you need to focus on increasing the uh, number of opportunities that you have from different areas. And the last point is going to be like based on the start dates of your opportunities, you will know when to contact with an entity. So my suggestion is like at least, really at least 3 weeks before the realization date, start interviewing the candidates and start having exact partnerships for the requirements. So start dates are important, really important in that manner. So you will know when to do what. And you need to be careful. Once you have your opportunity, make sure that the start date is of opportunity is maximum today. So for example, let's say I second Ahmedabad have a marketing opportunity and start date in Expo is 1st of November. In opportunities portal, none of be able to see this opportunity because as you go, you see that only the opportunities starting from today are being displayed there. So if you have that kind of opportunities, that has start dates before today, you need to change them immediately because only then EPs will be able to see them. If you don't change them right now, then you will not be able to get the applicants, then your matchings will not happen. And yes, an opportunity analysis. Uh, so those opportunity analysis you have, you need to do those based on the questions that I ask here. But please have department meetings and add as many questions as possible because those questions will guide you. Those questions will help you to come up with action plans. This is how you need to start understanding your operations and also planning what you can do for IR. Yes. Next thing, planning your communication channels for IR. So you need to create a sheet for this. For example, we need to know which countries you want to contact and when you want to do it, who is responsible, how frequent are you going to do this. Uh, in that sheet, please make sure that all your teams who is responsible for IR is involved and everyone knows in iGT department who will be responsible for which country and for which opportunity, what needs to be done. So yeah, first what you need to do is analyze, after analyzing opportunities, write down the countries that you might and you want to work with. Then check EXPA and see which all the LCs are operating in OGT in that entities. Do not only try to contact with the LCs who are performing the most, but write down every single entity that is performing in OGT and find the needed contact list. You can find the contacts from EXPA itself and in the search tools of those entities. Once you find those contacts, do not only send emails, do not directly send IDs from WhatsApp, but try to ask them how they are, how do they feel. Do not tell them you need them first, but try to first arrange a call with them. For example, you're a team leader and you're approaching the VP or GIP. Ask them, I want to have a word with you about a possible partnership between your LC and mine. And you can directly ask for if there is any team leader you have that is responsible for IR. That way, you can make sure that you're going to have a person of contact from that LC. You're going to decrease the possibility of that person is not going to reply. So again, do not directly ask that you need a help, but for example, ask for a call. After you have this call with that person, in that call, ask them what do they need, what kind of operations they are doing, how many EPs they have, how many of them are still applying, how many you can match together. Then tell them, and those are the opportunities I have, and those are the ones that I want to match with you as soon as possible. So in that way, you're first getting the information, then you're balancing what the information you have and what can give. And then actually you're starting a relationship on IR. Yes, in that first contact, do not forget to define the communication channels. Ask them, how can I contact with you? Is WhatsApp okay, or should I be sending you an email? Maybe you can form a WhatsApp group, but maybe it's better to have email groups. Maybe Facebook group can be better. You can only understand this by asking the person there. So just make sure that every communication channel you have is going to have a responsible. So you need to plan a content for this. For example, how often are you gonna use those communication channels? What are you going to post? Are you directly going to post opportunity IDs, or are you going to post the things about your LC or how you're operating it? Are you going to ask them how many EPs they have? You need to define all those and you need to create the action plan. And you need to make sure that you're tracking your opportunities constantly. So you need to keep asking the questions in the first page again and again, almost every week. As much as you do, you also need to ask them how many EPs do they have, how many more they're raising every week, how many of them can apply for India. Yes. Keep in mind that not all the entities are using WhatsApp. For example, Russia is using VK most, United States is not using WhatsApp, MOC is not using WhatsApp more, but they're using WeChat. And it's also important Not everyone is willing to use WhatsApp as a working channel, but they sometimes want to keep it as a personal space. So once they say such things, it's always better to respect and use the email channel. If you your own start spamming your own channels, then it's not going to work. Send texting only opportunity IDs, texting only what you need is going to bore them. And after sometimes they're not even going to check your messages. So please make sure that your messages are not becoming spams, but they're always being interesting and they always have a call to action point. Try to send as much proactive as possible. Try to send visuals, videos, uh, photos with your EPs, your team videos, and etc. Keep them updated about yourself, like what you're doing, not only what you need from them. It will be really like some kind of team building between your LC and their LCs. And yes, not only LCVPs, but team leaders and all the members should be involved in this partnership communications because at the end of the day, members or the team leaders will be opportunity managers, right? And they will need those contacts in some time. So you need to make sure that once you start your IR, your LC is informed about how this country or how this LT partnerships is going to work. Next topic. So far, I told you about how to analyze your own operations and how to actually try act on it. But there's one other thing. The question I put the previous one. Writing down all the countries you might and want to work with. So how you can find this information? So there are a lot of resources that you can see that which entity and which LC is growing in terms of OGE and OGT, which are the cycles that they're growing. So for this, of course, you can check Expo Analytics. I highly suggest you, like, as much as you check your own opportunity analysis, try to check EP analysis also. Which entities are putting realizations, which entities are having more applications. So try to approach them. There is this link, entity search tools. I will be sharing this booklet. I've already shared it with the iGT department. I'm going to send this as an email again. So we have this entity search tools list that you can find. And in there, you can see actually how many available each from several countries are still applying. One other really important thing is that this AI growth hacker updates. So they're not only posting images, guys, but there's a tracker that you can see the exchange happening in every entity in every week. This is an amazing resource that you can see with which country you need to contact as soon as possible whenever you have an open opportunity. And all the four other region hubs. So for example, if you want to have a partnership with Americas or Europe, you need to understand how those regions are actually working. Because considering the fact that those countries are really different, they have different realities in ISEC also. So we need to just check, like we need to see what are the trends that they're following. Then accordingly, when you're approaching them, you can start talking about that. For example, Europe is definitely focusing on GE, but how they're doing, you can click Europe Hub and you can see which entities are performing the most, what kind of resources they have. So all those things that you need to track constantly. It's really important that if you assign someone in your department and that person make the analysis and share this in a weekly basis to whole department, then you can be really up to date and you can shape your own operations and even you can raise opportunities according to the EP supply in the ISEC. One last thing about these resources, Expo Magic. So in Expo, just check My Committee's Opportunities applications. There you can see all the applications from all around the world and you can even make an analysis of from which countries you are getting most of the applications. What are the backgrounds of those EPs? Just use the filters there and you're gonna see like what is the attraction of your opportunities. Then you can actually take a risk and go raise opportunities accordingly. And whenever you have the similar opportunities, you will know from where you're gonna get the applications. Um, and the last point is balancing asking and offering. So it's the fact that like whenever we're trying to find an EP, we're directly posting in WhatsApp groups, right? This is my TN, this is the duration, this is the subproduct, this is what I need. But it's not always working. So this is why this is happening, because we are generally asking for something. We're always like there, we're pushing them to find some resource for us. But it's not only about asking, it's sometimes offering. So how you can ask, so there is one right thing is understanding the communication. So maybe WhatsApp is not always writing. You need to understand this based on asking question in front of you. You can ask them whenever you have the first contact. So if I have the opportunity, should I send you an email or should I send you a WhatsApp? When are you checking your emails the most? So accordingly, you can understand to send email or when to text from WhatsApp. So include a call to action. Do not only post your opportunity IDs, but ask for something. Ask them, when can you send me those EPs? Do you have available EPs in that area? Or are you going to promote this? Can I help you with? You need this or that. Ask them question. Make them take an action about this thing. Uh, Add only the needed information about this opportunity. Do not put too much of things, but put the things that they can be interested and they can use. Uh, do not send the same opportunities again and again. And do not, for example, we have a lot of country groups, right? WhatsApp. The very common ones, the entity ones. Rather than putting your opportunities there, for example, ask them who all of you who among you has marketing EPs? Then they will say, I have, I have, I have, I have. Then text those people privately and ask them like, okay, now this is my opportunity and how can we work on it? Because once you send the text in a group that has more than 100 participants, it's highly possible that your message will be lost or will not be read. So just consider all of these things and try to create personal relationships rather than posting something and trying to expect the right talent for that opportunity. And whenever you send those messages, whenever you send those emails, do not forget to make the follow-ups. Every day, ask them what's happening. Have you found the EP? Are you going to make the promotions? Okay, tell me what you need for that. Visual. Okay, I'm going to send this. You need an explanation. You need a video. I'm going to send this. Make sure that you're asking them in which stage are they for this opportunity. And the balancing thing, how to offer. So let's say that even though you don't have opportunities right now, or you have finding your applicants through Extra, still ask them how many available EPs they have, how many of them are applying right now. Then analyze whether you have opportunities for those EPs. If you don't have, go and raise it. For example, if Russia has education EPs right now, if you don't have, go and raise an English teaching opportunity. This is how asking and offering works. We need to repeat this again and again. This is also another resource that you will find out how you can actually find the right supply and how you can increase your matches. And lastly, I will be telling about our entity partners. Those are the entities that we are working the most: Egypt, Brazil, MOC, and Russia. Those four countries are adding at least 10 exchanges per country in every month. Plus this, you also know that there is ISEC in France, but this is only for a special entity embassy partnership. Other than those countries, in Americas, the countries we can work the most are Argentina, Peru, Colombia, USA, and Canada. So especially if you're looking for a Spanish speaker, you can approach those three countries first: Argentina, Peru, and Colombia. Considering the OGT they're doing, they will be the best approach. USA and Canada, their OGT operations are not that high. So the way that you can actually approach them are expo. So once you see applicants from those countries, make sure to contact with the home as soon as possible. Europe. Those are the countries that we have good relations so far. And what I can suggest you that you can work most is Poland, Turkey, and Italy. Apart from that, United Kingdom is really ready to work with us in terms of teaching EPs also. And also Austria. They're also ready to work with us and they can provide German EPs. Asia Pacific. So apart from MOC, especially Indonesia is our second biggest partner from here. And Vietnam is the entity that is growing in terms of OGT right now. And Taiwan, Australia, Japan, and Sri Lanka are the entities we have really strong contacts, and you can actually pursue with them. And Middle East, apart from Egypt, Tunisia and Morocco are providing most of the talents that we might need. As you know, that those two countries have both Arabic, English, and French speakers. And apart from those, Ghana, Togo, and Lebanon are the countries that we're working the most. Especially Ghana and Togo are really, really suitable to provide us teaching EPs because of their native language is English. And Lebanon is ready to work with us in terms of GE. So yeah. One thing that I can inform you is that, as you know, October was not a resourceful matching peak for us. What can happen is that, as you know, global talent EPs are not students and they can be realized anytime, right? So we had problems with matching, and as long as we have opportunities, we can create peaks in every time we want. So just do not stop raising opportunities. And even in March, even in February, which are the time that we have the slowest times of matching, we can actually increase because we will be pushing. Right now, it's the time that all of the entities are actually for global talents and global entrepreneur. So we need to make sure that we are having opportunities according to that. So yeah, coming to the end, what I can suggest you is assign IR responsibles in your departments, in your ILCs as soon as possible. Right after this, have this person and make this person work on this booklet and work on the points that I mentioned. Have a department meeting to decide on the action plan. So who needs to uh, approach the countries, which countries are to be approached and all. Create this action plan as at least for 3 months so we can make sure that in January or February also we're going to have matching and realization peaks and start communicating and approving. To repeat again, having a partnership is not only about texting in a group and asking for EPs, but it's doing something beyond that. It's being strategical, it's asking and offering at the same time. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. I hope you get really good information from there. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get in questions right now because we need to shift the IGV webinar as soon as possible. What we're going to do is that I'm right now sending an email to Commission with this booklet and a Google form that you can ask your questions. Your LCPs will be forwarding this email to you. Please ask all of your questions there, and I'm gonna create a booklet out of it, and I'm gonna answer each and every question. Cool? Thank you for attending, guys. Hope to see you in 10th of November's webinar. Goodbye.